people you talk to, the luckier you will be. For real, for real, for real. The more people that you talk to, that you have quality conversations with, the luckier you will be. And I'm not just talking about distressed property owners. I'm not just talking about cash buyers. I'm talking about everybody that you are networking with, everybody that you are connecting with. You need to build up that courage so that you can have really, really good conversations as often as possible and feel like you are really providing a ton of value, because that's it, right? Our income is equal to the amount of value we provide to the community. That's it. You want to make $100,000, provide $100,000 worth of value. You want to make $1 million, provide $1 million worth of value. It all starts with your ability to talk to people, to have those conversations. The more people you talk to, the luckier you will be. All right, now let's get on to our topic of the day, which is hiring virtual assistants, hiring VAs. Now, I really want to split this up into two parts, okay? Because the first one is, when I hear VA, when I hear virtual assistant, it's exactly what it means, an assistant. Like somebody that is your assistant in your business, that does operational activities. But what most people have kind of most people think of VAs, they think of phone prospectors, right? Lead generators, people that you upload the list, you give them the dialer, and they start making calls for you, and you start getting leads. So because that's where the tilt and the balance, most people are thinking that way. Most people are thinking of virtual assistants as people that are going to be picking up the phone and calling for you and really adding some horsepower to your business. I'm going to start with that and really break that down, and then I'll give you some tips on hiring an actual virtual assistant, because the one that I have, Lisa from the Philippines, has been with me for over 6 years. I've paid her over $100,000 over that time, and she's been absolutely phenomenal. And just I mean, she's the person that's been around the longest with me. And I'll show you a little bit about that as well. But let's look at this graphic, because this is what I think is really the meat and potatoes of hiring a virtual assistant, or what I would like you to call a phone prospector. All right, let's take a look at this, Matt. Now look at this. This is the breakdown, right? This is the nitty gritty. All right, because I have had the fortune of not only talking to tens of thousands of property owners and making millions of calls, but I've coached the best of the best. I've coached people since 2017 on how to effectively make calls, how to effectively hire virtual assistants, phone prospectors to really expand their business. And these are the stats, all right? This isn't just theory. It's a little bit of rounding up to make it look a little bit cleaner, but this is really where you can sink your teeth into. And I think that this gives you a light at the end of the tunnel, especially as you're starting to build momentum in your business and you're picking up the phone and you're consistently making calls, or maybe you feel like, you know what? I love the idea of cold calling. I don't want to do it myself, or I'm at that point now where I've made enough from my efforts that I can start hiring people. Well, take a look at this. This is the calculations that you need to use so that you can build that into your goals. All right? If your goal is to make $400,000, this is going to help you break that down. If your goal is to make $100,000, this is going to break it down. All right? So first of all, look at this. 20 hours. Get the question all the time. Right, Mike? How long does it take to get a deal? 20 hours of you making calls. All right? 20 hours. Now, what if you wanted to hire somebody? What if you're like, you know what, I don't want to do 20 hours of calls. It sounds like a nightmare, or I just don't have that much. time. I have too much responsibilities, but I still want to fuel my real estate ambitions, right? I want to hire somebody. Well, when you hire somebody that is experienced and that is managed, they're about a quarter as good as you. They're about 25% as good as you. You're going to see that number jumps up to 80 hours for one closed deal if they are experienced and managed. All right. And in the past, I've made a distinction between foreign callers versus American callers. Here's what I'll say. If they are experienced and you go through, and I'll show you how to interview and how to look at what kind of personality types are the best and the most long-lasting for your business. We'll break that all down here, all right? If they've got good experience and you feel good and you can pay somebody $10 an hour versus $20 an hour, right? $10 an hour is typically what you're going to pay for somebody that is managed, that lives either in South America or the Philippines or in India or whatever else. You can test them out. Test out how they sound. Test out how they actively listen. This is the most important thing. How are they actively listening when you're interviewing them, when you're hearing recordings of their past experiences? Are they saying stuff like, yes, sure, yeah, okay, great. Are they confirming and approving, or are they interrogating? Right? Are they having a conversation, or is it just one-sided with them peppering people with questions? That's what you want to look for with experienced callers. But if you can do it for $10 an hour, do it for $10 an hour. I do it for $20 an hour. That's my best calls, and I'll explain why, and I'll explain all the resources. But right there, 80 hours per deal is typical for when you hire a phone prospector that is managed and that has experience. Okay. Now, what a lot of people do is they go, well, I just want to hire somebody myself. I just want to find somebody independent. I want to pay them $4 to $5 an hour. That's fine, but it's going to take 400 hours per deal. 400 hours per deal for unmanaged phone prospectors. All right. Let that sink in. So you think that you're saving money, but they're about 5% as good as you. Okay, if they're totally unmanaged and they've got some experience, but maybe not experience when it comes to sales. See, a lot of people, when you hire them or when they say raise their hand when you do a job posting on any of these virtual assistant sites, when they raise their hand and they have experience, is it customer service experience or is it sales experience? Right? There's a big difference there. You want to make sure that it's sales experience. What I would highly recommend is, first of all, you doing the deals. You doing the calls first, because you're going to get there faster and you're going to keep all the profits. And then when you decide to hire, make sure that they're experienced. You all right, Mike? I'm just going crazy over here. Make sure that they're experienced and managed. You do not want to add more stuff to your plate to manage these people. I am telling you, I would take that third option and completely throw it away. The minimum that you should be spending on your phone prospector for quality leads is $10 an hour. For real. And by the way, it's managed. All you have to do is upload the list, and it's like plug and chug, baby. All right? So that is my suggestion here when it comes. Go ahead, Mike.
So, Brent, 20 hours is if you make the calls yourself.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, could I see that, please? The deal. The 80 hours is if you hire somebody like calling reps or call motivated sellers.
Yep.
Somebody who specializes in cold calling where they're managed,
yep.
right? 400 hours is if you just go rogue and try to find somebody yourself,
mm-hmm.
either virtually or maybe local. And then, what is that 1,000 hours? What does that mean? 1,000.
They have 1,000 hours of experience.
Got it.
Yeah. Sorry. So I kind of glazed over that. The 1,000 hours that's the amount of time that they've spent on the phone. And you can verify that based on whoever's managing them. We'll say this is how many hours that they've worked in a sales environment, either real estate or insurance or warranties or whatever else, whatever they've done for lead generation. There's a big difference between lead generation and customer service, for sure. Yep. Let's keep going. Now, here is absolutely critical. We put it in that beautiful, sparkling Caribbean blue there. Look at that. The key is consistent lead generation for 90 days or 12 weeks. All right? 90 days, guys. Listen, if you're going to hire somebody, you have to have a budget for 90 days. I'm telling you, the efforts that you make now, even yourself, are going to pay off in 90 days. Because, listen, when you call them, very rarely are they going to be ready to sign a purchase agreement right now, right? But You do the lead follow-up, you're pre-qualifying them, and and it takes a little bit of time, about a month, 45 days, and then boom, you get that property under contract, but it typically takes 30 days to close it. So let's get realistic with it. 90 days, you talk to somebody today, it's a lead. 90 days is the average that lead turns into income into your bank account. 90 days minimum. So when you're doing this yourself, which I highly suggest you do, because it's going to build skills, it's going to build communication skills that you never even dreamed you could have. I'm telling you this from personal experience. The more that you are talking and building up your experience, talking to strangers about real estate, the better you're going to communicate with everybody. Everybody. It bleeds into every part of your life. I've said that 1,000 times on this channel, but it is the absolute truth. So I highly suggest that as this first 90 days, you make these calls yourself. Now, if you're just like, no, Brent, I'm just not going to do it. I just know it. I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel that the fire in my belly to go out there and hunt myself. I want somebody else to do it. Then make sure that they have 1,000 hours of experience in a sales position, and then test them out. If you can do it for $10 an hour, do it. I do it. I pay $20 an hour because my deals are double the size. And if you do the economics, it makes a whole lot of sense. But let's look at this. 240 hours equals 12 deals for you. It's the math, right? 20 hours per deal makes it very easy. So we're just extrapolating over 12 deals here, because during those 12 weeks, you're putting in 20 hours of calls, 240 hours of calls. You're going to get enough leads. You're going to have about 2,520 contacts. You're going to get about 168 leads from that. And you're going to go on probably around 18 to 20 appointments. Of that, you should be closing 12. Okay? And this is over time. You got to do lead follow-up. You got to be in front of these people. They got to be, you got to constantly be adding new people to your pipeline because you're replacing the ones that are coming in. These are the numbers. I am telling you. All we do is study the numbers of the people that are in our coaching program and the numbers of our own businesses. And these are the numbers. All right. So then look just below 960 hours for 12 deals with your experienced phone prospector. And that's an average deal size of $10,000. That's across the country, because some places are way more, some places are way less. All right, with the price points. And then if you hire just somebody that you want to get for $4 or $5 an hour, 4,800 hours they have to call. I mean, you got to hire like 1,000 of them. I mean, I would just avoid that, right? And then let's get excited about this. 100 deals is $1 million. 100 deals at $10,000 is $1 million. That's 2,000 hours for you if you want to keep it. You're not going to do it. I know you're not going to do it. You're going to start getting these deals and you're going to start hiring people, and that's great, but use these numbers to factor into your KPIs, to your analytics of your business, so that you can have accurate assessment, you have accurate expectations. All right. Is this all making sense, Mike? Is this broken down clearly? Is it where this is your first time seeing this? So is this?
So I just want to clarify. So what you're not saying is if you spend 20 hours on the phone, you're going to get a deal, in 20 hours. You're saying if you spend 20 hours on the phone, you'll get a deal over the next 90 days. Right. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then they start popping. Consistency, you're building it up. I'm telling you,
the pipeline.
When you talk to 2,520 people that are on distressed property, then this is why we really push getting distressed property lists, driving for dollars, probates, pre-foreclosures, tired landlords, tired multifamily owners, vacant land, all of these lists. If we're targeting those people and we're using the script, the TTP script, right? You can get it at ttpinsider.com. If you haven't got in there, guys, come on. It's all free stuff. Just get into TTP Insider, get the script. It's absolutely going to give you the scaffolding for that conversation. You're using the script. You're calling distressed property lists. You're talking to 2,520 people. You are going to get those 12 deals.
So what I also took away, Brent, is if you're not going to make the calls yourself, hire a managed a managed VA company with sales experience, right?
Yep.
And they should expect to pay, at least $10 an hour.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then Matt, if you'll put up that one more that one more time. And guys, if you have questions, that's what I want. I want you to be asking the questions in the comments section. This is very heavy Q&A on here. So make sure that you're asking and commenting in the side there or down below or wherever it is. Ask the question if this is confusing in any way, but it should be pretty clear. All right, but ask the questions. And then, Matt, if you'll pull up that second graphic, please, brother. And then you could just pull me off. Listen to me. This is a disc test. I highly suggest you get a disc test from every single phone prospector that you're going to be interviewing. Okay? And the reason why is because the best phone prospectors throughout the years that I have seen are high S's and high I's. All right? They're high, even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, tactful, but also outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic, high-spirited, and lively. You see that right side there? That I and S? Those should be high, and that S should be the highest. All right? D's come out of the drivers come out strong, but they burn out. I'm telling you, they look for other opportunities, and the C's sometimes they just get beat up too much that it affects their emotions, and they need to take some time off. So high S and I. I'm telling you guys, this is the secret sauce here. This is it. I'm telling you, do a disc test and make sure that they are S and I. All right, and you're going to hire some really great people. Let me show you. Guys, I want you to do your own research. I want you to look at whoever you want to use for this. I'm going to show you who I've used for years. All right, I've used 3 companies for years and years and years. This first one is $20 an hour. It's American Cold Callers. They do an unbelievable job, unbelievably giant, massive deals we get from these leads. And that is right here. If you'll pop it up, callmotivatedsellers.com, callmotivatedsellers.com. All right. That's who I've used. I mean, this isn't a surprise to anybody. Call Motivated Sellers. Make sure if you are at that point where you have a budget to go $20 an hour for at least 90 days, 20 hours is the minimum. So you got to expect $400 a week for this company. All right. I suggest that you hire one at 20 hours a week and really work with them. I mean, they're trained. They know TTP script. They know the dialer. They know they know how to move and shake. They are unbelievable. They're probably the most hands-off, but I still want you to have a weekly review with them every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, do a review, look at their leads, listen to their recordings, make sure that they are saying and doing all the right things and not getting burnt out. They typically don't. I mean, I've had the same callers with these guys for years. So call Motivated Sellers. Make sure you put TTP in if you are ready for that in the coupon code. They actually put you to the top of the list of people that get their callers because they have limited supply. The next one is Calling Reps. CallingReps.com. These are $10 an hour. These are managed. These are incredible people out of the Philippines. We've used them for 2 years. That is Max Fish, who has an incredible business in the East Coast. He does in Philadelphia, does incredible business, but it's run and managed by a wholesaler. Calling Reps. Make sure you use TTP. Pushes you up there. They have limited, but they know if you come from me to give you priority. And then the last one is Pace Morbies, Start Virtual. Startvirtual.com/TTP. This is who we hire for our text blasting efforts. We didn't touch on that. We just talked on the calling because there's some more restrictions on texting, but we still do a great job. Get $100 off at startvirtual.com/TTP. All right? So that is your resources. That is the disc test that shows you who you should be hiring. Go for 1,000 hours of experience. Listen to me. If you don't have the $10 an hour minimum to hire somebody, do it yourself. Well, first of all, even if you have $1 million in the bank, do it yourself for the first 90 days. I'm telling you, it's incredible. All of a sudden, you're just you're just on fire. You're able to communicate. You understand how to listen to people. You understand how to pre-qualify them. You understand when people are just surface level, giving you surface level answers, or whether they're getting deep. You learn the ability to shrink or destroy that force field that everybody has around them when you're talking to somebody for the first time. You're able to just really dissolve that and have a good, meaningful connection with somebody. And that's what we're talking about. That's talking to people. That's what you do. So check out those resources, guys. You can Google them, look at the reviews, go with everybody. That's just who we use in our business, and it's been phenomenal. We've made a fortune off of those companies. So it's up to you, but those are who I would suggest you check out and at least see if they're the right fit for you. Good? Good? Really, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do. We come out every single day with new instruction, right? New instruction, no fluff, no clickbaity stuff, just real instruction so that you can take your wholesaling business to the next level or just get your first deal. I'm telling you, it's like straight into your brain, into action, the videos that we put out every single day. So make sure that you subscribe. Real quick, just for 1 second, I want to show this, Matt. This is my virtual assistant. You can see I've spent a lot of time and efforts with Lisa. She was at $4.50 when she started. I have increased her to, as you can see here, $9 an hour as the assistant. She assists my lead manager, and she makes sure that my email is very clean and I don't have to deal with anything that is unimportant. But she does a lot of tasks. If you'd like to learn more about that, just let me know in the comments and we can get into it. But I want to open this up. We've got 22 minutes. We've got Bobby Berg, a wholesaler, former military, Navy guy, coming in, did 60 grand last month. Incredible story, incredible guy. He's going to pop in, answer some questions as well, because we're doing a podcast interview later, so that'll be at the top of the hour. But let's get to the questions. Jesse, are we locked and loaded, brother? Are we locked and loaded? Are people getting this? Okay. Good. Is it clear? Good. Whoa, we don't want to do that. All right, what do we got? Ben, there he is. I'm the laziest person in the world. Can you make a video, YouTube video on screaming, get on the phones for an hour, and I can play it on loop? Yeah, I think that I want to write a book that basically just says talk to people every single page on it, like a 500-page book that just says talk to people, quality conversations. But yeah, we could probably do a get on the phones loop, get on the phones loop, get on the phones loop. Yeah, that'd be good. We've got a technical glitch here. You know, the interesting thing about doing this show is apparently Microsoft updates every once in a while, and it kind of just screws all the presettings that Matt's worked so hard to put on here. But we should be able to get to your questions here and put them up there so everybody knows what the heck we're talking about.
Can you just ask one question so you can answer it?
Okay, Jesse's going to ask me a question.
We got more than technical difficulty.
Yeah, we've got human things. What do we got?
How many times should a VA call through a list?
2 to 3 times. The question is, how many times should a VA call through a list? Same as you. 2 to 3 times. Here's the thing, and especially, well, I mean, it's the same for both. Listen, after you go through a list twice, the contact rate goes from like, first time through is like 7%. Second time through is, second time through is like 5% contact rate, and then third time it's like 1 or less. So you're not having a lot of conversations, which really screws things up. And it's just a waste of time. I mean, you're just not getting the momentum that you need if you're not talking to the people that you're trying to get a hold of. So don't just be paying people hourly to talk to 2 people. It's not going to get you what you need. Remember, you got to have 2,520 contacts over that 90 days to hit those 12 deals. And listen, I know that there's people watching the show that are like, hey, listen, that's great. 120 grand is great. 480,000 is great, but I want to do $1 million. You know the breakdown. You got to add more horsepower to your phone prospecting efforts. All right? Awesome.
Okay, so we got Jesse Aguirre.
Yep.
He says, so if I work full-time, should I have a VA during the time I'm working on RVM?
This is a great question. I wish we could put this up. I don't know where the updates are crazy here. Anyway, yes, 100%. Listen, here's the thing. If you've got a full-time job and you just can't fit it in, right? You got kids, you got responsibilities, you got a full-time job, you got to hire somebody, then do it. Just make sure that you have the budget to do it for a minimum of 90 days. Because what I think I see the biggest error is expecting to just start having the money roll in week one, right? Like you're expecting, oh, these guys are making all these calls, all these leads should be ready to pop right now. I don't have to do much. I just have to basically be an order taker. It is not that market, baby. This is not that market. This is a market where incredible and relentless lead follow-up is the key to this business. I am telling you, the relentless follow-up. So it's going to take some time. So if you're going to hire somebody, make sure that you've got a budget for 90 days. All right? Guys, ignore that we don't have the phone number going today.
Okay, we got Lopsan 407.
There we go.
Hey, okay. Look at that. See, these guys are quick. These guys, we do it on the fly here. You don't know until you're going live what you're going to run into. All right, Lopsan. Yeah, look at that. We got a flex. We got a smile. We got some flames. Brent, exclamation points. I love that. I do. I've been cold calling myself and closing deals using your script. Yes. I ran into this vacant land and a little confused on how to go about it. Seller wants $15,000. Okay. Well, here's the deal with vacant land. Can we switch over? I'll get on here and we'll kind of switch up here.
You can sure try.
Hey, there we go. No. Okay, there we go. So this is with vacant land. Can they hear? Is everything good, Jesse?
That looks like a good sound.
Okay. Vacant land. What you want to do is make sure that it's in a subdivision. All right. If it's in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be tough, especially if they want $15,000. But I assume that they're probably in a neighborhood. Make sure that you're going after vacant land in the neighborhood. All right. And then what you want to do is you want to see what the ARV is. What is the, not even ARV, what is the highest sale? Highest sale in that neighborhood. All right. What's the highest sale? And then typically what a developer builder is going to want to purchase this piece of land for is 20% of this sale. Okay, so if this is at $500,000, the highest sale is $500,000, then we're going to want to buy that piece of land for $100,000. If the highest sale is $100,000, they're going to want to buy it for $20,000, maybe a little bit less because the economics of building a house on that are a little bit tighter. So, but 20% is a good rule. So you're going to have to be under that 20% to be able to sell that deal, to wholesale that deal.
Does it matter if the highest sale is remodeled or not?
You want it to look. Typically, it will be. Yeah. Typically the highest sale in every neighborhood is going to be something that's been renovated or whatever else. But just look for that, and then also don't sleep on selling that vacant lot to the neighbors that border that property. All right. You can make a fortune that way if you sell it to the neighbors that border it. Right? So if somebody lives next to it, you say, hey, listen, I have this lot for sale next to you. I'd love to sell it to you as opposed to a developer. Would you like to buy it for $25,000 if they want $15,000 or whatever? Okay.
That wasn't the question.
This is the next question? Okay. Kala, if I have the knowledge but have never done a deal myself, do you suggest hiring a VA? No. Listen, well, here's the thing. There's difference between knowing the knowledge and having the time. It's a difference between if you have the time to do it, I highly suggest it. If you're full-time, you've got kids, you've got all these other things going on, it's just a whole lot. You just got a really congested schedule. Then I would, one, really take a hard look and see when you can make the efforts, when you can fit 20 hours into committing to this business, because we have 168 hours. We have plenty of time. But if it just feels too much, if it's too loud, if you're just not in the right environment to be able to focus and make it sacred time that you are committing to making those calls, that you're time blocking, then I suggest I suggest hiring somebody. But if you can avoid it, I would highly avoid. I would make sure that you are making the calls first, at least for the first 90 days. Yeah, you got this. I know you got this. I'm telling you, it is a feeling like no other when you call somebody up and they tell you the price that they want, and it is just incredible, and you go and you complete that deal and get that check and get that wire into your account from one conversation that was the seed that planted that check for $10,000, $15,000, $50,000. It is an incredible feeling to walk it all the way through, and you keep most of it. I want you to keep most of it. Yeah. And when you're calling, you only have you. I mean, you're developing those skills. So you're getting better every single day. All right. Sam, what are some things you use your VA for aside from cold calling? Yeah, Sam, I've got this whole... and we could post this. I've got this whole list of what we were looking for, what I was looking for here. You can pull this up if you want. Let me see. View job post. There it is. This is 5 years ago, and here's a bunch of the roles, bunch of the things that I was having her do. If you'll notice right here, this is great. I love doing this because a lot of them just send in the resume. I had them send in 5 quotes regarding the topic of facing your fears. And Lisa killed it. She did everything on here. She read everything through. She was unbelievable. And so I hired her. And that was 5 years ago. So almost 6 years ago. So we can put this job details into TTP Insider. But this is basically it. Basically just taking everything off my plate from an operational standpoint. She's going through all my emails. She was cleaning up all the lists for skip tracing, making sure everything was organized, getting them into the skip tracing, getting them back and putting them into the dialer. She was, when a lead came in, they would email Lisa. Lisa would input it into our CRM, so it was very clean. Now you can have it so it automatically does it, but it just doesn't come as clean because the prospectors are kind of taking wild notes and some things are kind of all scattered, and I like it very organized so that my acquisition managers can know right away what's going on with that deal. So we have her clean it up. Yeah. Good question, Sam. VAR98, what dialer do you use for your overseas VAs? Batch dialer. Yeah. Batch dialer. Just make sure, if you're using somebody overseas, just make sure that they have super internet. I'm telling you, calling reps, any company that manages the phone prospectors for our business, make sure that they have a really good connection. Because if it's like that empty space, somebody picks up, you pick up the phone and there's empty space, and then somebody starts talking, and you're like, oh, okay, this is weird. So it's got to, as soon as they answer, you got to be asking, hi, I'm looking for Brent. Hi, I'm looking for Jesse. Hi, I'm looking for Mike. I'm looking for Alejandro. Whatever it is, they need to be on it. It needs to be right away, no delays, crystal clear. So make sure that they've got very strong internet connection. Awesome. Do we have any celebrations yet? Do we have any? We haven't rang the bell at all. We need some celebrations. We need to just start ringing this thing up. So if you have done a deal, if you have locked something up, make sure that you post here. I'd love to celebrate and recognize your efforts. All right. Ooh, from IG, if your students have a big monthly budget, do you recommend other streams of marketing on top of cold calling? Yes, once they've got the cold calling down. Once they've got a nice rhythm, they're getting a nice return, they're very deep, it's kind of hands-off, they have enough staff or themselves. They have enough to where they're not overwhelmed, and leads are, because you get so many leads from cold calling, you really got to be on top of it, and you got to really pre-qualify them strong so that you can get rid of the looky-loos and keep the people that have potential of doing business with you. Okay? So yeah, I mean, we've got a few different ones, and I'll talk about some more as we have shows, upcoming shows, for sure. But I always say focus deep and then wide, deep and then wide, deep and then wide. Because the problem is, you go through that 90 days, right? And then all of a sudden, like day 17, you're like, I wonder if mailer leads will work. I wonder if bandit signs will work. I wonder if I should start working on my website. I wonder if I should be out there door knocking. I wonder if I should be text buying, all of these things. And then all of a sudden, you're not keeping your efforts. You're not keeping it really strong and focused. And remember, clarity creates energy. Clarity creates energy. Stay focused. Go deep before you go wide. And thank you for joining us from IG. Brandon, look at that. He's got a pizza eyeball. That's cool. That's the first pizza eyeball I've seen. Brandon, here we go. I have a follow-up lead that wants to sell, but her husband is really sick, and she just canceled on me for the walkthrough and isn't picking up the phone. Should I keep calling her, or should I go to the door? Go to the door, Brandon. Yeah. Find out what's going on. Listen, if her husband's really sick, there's a lot of things going on there. You got to have a tremendous amount of empathy. You got to really, really just understand that they're probably going through a real difficult time, and they probably don't want people coming through the property. So you need to have that conversation. If she is not answering the phone, it's probably not because she doesn't want to talk to you. It's probably because she feels bad for going back on her word of saying that she'll sell the house and give you the opportunity to bring people through, and then something changed. All right. So a lot of times people just feel bad telling people things, and so they avoid that. They don't have that candor, right? They don't have that, I'm going to just tell you what's what, and you can deal with it type of thing. They're like, you know what? I'm going to just hide for a little bit and hope that it just kind of settles itself out. Right. So go to the door. It's not, and by the way, Brandon, not uncommon. And, as long as they're close, just go and just see if you can get a hold of them. See if you can have a conversation and just work with them. Because obviously something happened there. It's just, remember, just get that information. Just get what is that sticking point. Come on! Juanita Villa, crushing it. Hi, Brent. My husband, Jason, and I closed on a deal Monday and made $13,000. Come on!
Oh, yeah.
How about that? How about that?
That was a good bell ring.
That was good. How about that? Alejandra closes her ears. Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. I would love if you put in here how you got that deal. I'd be really interested, but congratulations. $13,000. $13,000. It takes like most Americans half a year to make that. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations. That's awesome. How long should I give a VA before I pull the plug? Hannibal, 90 days. 90 days. 90 days, 90 days. And I highly suggest you have somebody that is managed and experienced. 1,000 hours of calls in a sales position. Okay? Just because they have phone experience does not mean that it is sales phone experience. A lot of time it's customer service, so make sure that you get sales experience. 90 days, consistency. You want to be, if you are in a state where you can't record the calls because you need a two-party consent to do that, then what I want you to do, this has been really, really, really effective so that you know what these calls sound like. If you're in a one-party state, just Google, one-party state, two-party state for recording calls. And you're going to see in one party you can record it, listen to the recordings, and critique them. That's what your Wednesday, that hour on Wednesday that you spend with your phone prospector, you're going through these recordings, you're cleaning it up. Okay, that's number one. Number two is if you can't record them, get on a three-way call with them. Get on a three-way. Just put yourself on mute and listen to them live making the calls, and then just comment on how they're doing. Just kind of work with them to make sure that they're pulling out the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying: condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation to sell, and their price. All right?
Brent, I think I heard you say so call motivated sellers and calling reps.
Yes.
Not only do they have sales experience, but they have experience with the TTP script and wholesaling, right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they were born out of the TTP script. Yeah, so just Jason Hubley, the owner of Call Motivated Sellers, worked for a company called Outbounders. And Outbounders has like 30,000 phone prospectors that you can choose from, right? But a lot of them aren't managed, and they were doing okay with us, and then it just went way off. So I said, listen, I can't work with you guys anymore. I'm not getting the results that we need. And he said, well, what are you looking for? And I said, well, I want somebody that's super experienced, and if we can get Americans making these calls, that would be, I'd like to test that out. I'd like to see what that looked like. Because at the time, you could go on Upwork.com, find Americans, Australians, British, people that English is the first language, and they would, they did okay, but they weren't experienced, and it was just, they wanted like $30 or $40 an hour. Is crazy. So he put together Call Motivated Sellers. He used the script and has built it from there, and it's been phenomenal for people ever since. And then Calling Reps is Max's answer to, I can't afford $20 an hour, but I can afford half of that. I can afford $200 a week or $800 a month as opposed to $1,600 a month. And he believes that he can train his callers from the Philippines to be as good as anybody.
And on your team, I think you said you have 2 callers with Call Motivated Sellers and 1 caller with Calling Reps, right?
And 1 texter with
got it. Pace's company.
Startvirtual.com. Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Brent. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to hear that bell. I was going through zombie leads. I talked to him at the right time, and he finally decided to sell. Juanita, yes. Now, everybody, if you were wondering, what is a zombie lead? Zombie leads are essentially vacant pre-foreclosures. That's what they are.
That sounds scary.
Vacant pre-foreclosures. Some of them, it's crazy. Some people have been in pre-foreclosure, and they've been vacant for years. And the bank hasn't foreclosed on them for whatever reason. There's like a glitch in the system or something. So they're interesting leads. There's not a tremendous amount of them, but it's good to go after them. So congratulations on your zombie $13,000 deal. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That's figured. Anna, to make sure the contract is good for my state, do I ask a realtor or a real estate attorney? Well, first, Anna, I would go to your title company or closing attorney, depending on what state you're in. And I would go to the title company, and I would see if you can sit down with their in-house counsel. And I would ask the attorney, what is the purchase contract that you like the most for wholesaling real estate? And see if there's an option outside of the realtor contract that's either, 9 to 15 pages long in some states. And just see if there's a wholesaling contract that most people use that they prefer in that title and escrow company. Because really, the title and escrow company is the one that looks through that contract and determines if somebody's in breach of the contract or not. They make sure that they understand the financials of that contract so they know where the money's going and where it's coming from. So they actually do a lot of work, and then they insure their work, which is interesting that they charge insurance for making sure they did their job right. But it's required, especially if anybody's getting a conventional loan. But I would talk to the title company and closing attorneys and just see which one they prefer the best. All right. And don't overthink it, Anna. Don't be like, oh my gosh, that's like so many hoops to jump through. Why can't I just fix it like right now? Listen, you could put together a contract on a napkin and give it to a title company and see if they'll use it. So don't let it stop you from taking action, getting leads, following up with leads, and getting properties locked up. But schedule that appointment to be able to talk to them, or just ask the escrow officer, what contract do you like the best? Is there a way for you to give me an example of that? And then you can use that. All right. Good question. But I always think, listen, at some point, Anna, you're going to have to get a real estate attorney for whatever reason. Sometimes it's to for evictions. Sometimes it's just to review a contract to make sure that you've got everything in there in the way that you and the seller have agreed to it. Sometimes you are working. We've got a deal right now. We put it under contract. The guy specifically told us, I do not want to sell this to my ex-wife. And then he died. We're in contract. We should have the right to purchase this property. Ex-wife's coming in. She's fighting us with like a free attorney that only gets paid based on the results. So they drag it out, and we have an attorney fighting for that. And that's been going on for a year and a half, which is fine because, prices are going bananas. What was a $50,000 deal is now $160,000 deal. But sometimes you need real estate attorneys. Wealthy people hang out with attorneys. Just do. All right, Corey. Should I give buyers access to the lockbox, set up one open house date, or meet them at the property each time? Corey, great question. This is there's so much controversy here, right? There's so many different techniques for this. If you do an open house, then it's almost like an auction, and then it gets everybody excited, or it gets everybody competing against each other, and you get the absolute most. That's a strategy. In my experience, that strategy in Phoenix does not work. It just pisses off the absolute best buyers and the ones that are the most consistent and that are actual buyers. And typically it's just a bunch of other wholesalers trying to lock that deal up to sell to their database of buyers, just kind of trying to do that daisy chain type of thing. And it isn't really effective. So you could test it in our market and major markets. It doesn't really work as well. Next, lockbox. I love it. If it's vacant, put it on lockbox, get people in there, rock and roll, and just make sure that you get the permission from the seller to have people constantly going in there. But if it's vacant, typically they don't care. And then if it is owner occupied, I would meet them at the property. Yeah, absolutely. If it's owner occupied or tenant occupied, I think the best strategy is, as soon as you get that contract signed, you schedule a 2-hour window, 3 or 4 days out from that day, from the day that you sign the contract, 2 or 3, 4 days out, that you get 2 hours open, that you tell the seller that we're going to bring everybody through, let them take a look at it, and then get the highest and best offer that you can. Okay? So maybe that's what you meant by open house date. Yeah. Some people do it as like an online, like a in-person auction type of thing.
So if you schedule it 3 or 4 days out, that gives you a couple days to actually get out and market it to your cash buyers.
Yeah. And it moves things fast. I mean, you've got a 10-day window typically in your inspection period to sell that deal. So you got to make sure that you get some commitment as soon as possible. I will tell you, Corey, depending on where you're at, we sell 85% of our property sight unseen in Phoenix. Yeah. I mean, it's just speed. And people, if you take really good pictures and build up a really good reputation and they call you and get the scoop, most people that are experienced know their metric, they know their financials. They know what numbers they have to hit. So they'll just buy it sight unseen. Jennifer, our first comp of the day. Here we go. Let me extend this session. Let's make sure that the team hasn't logged in this time and logged me out. Okay. Jennifer, it's in Illinois. I have a telephone appointment tonight. I already know the 4 pillars through a Facebook conversation. Asking $30,000. All right, let's take a look at this. 2047. Sauk. I don't know, something like that. Trail. That is not pulling up. So village. I'm not pulling this up at all. Will you just verify, Jennifer, that is?
Maybe I'm seeing two different cities, so it's either Souk Village
Got it.
or Chicago Heights.
Got it.
It's the same property.
I got it right here. Look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the aerial here. We're zooming out. All right, pretty standard neighborhood. Fantastic. All right, this is interesting. I mean, let's see how many lanes this road is. See, this is interesting. This is going to play a factor here, okay? You've got a 5-lane road. This is a major road, and this property is facing it. There's always going to be about a 10% discount, if not more, 10 to 20% discount that you have to factor in if it's on a major road. Why? Because it limits the amount of buyers that will buy on a major road. 1, people don't like the traffic. 2, people have kids. They don't want their kids getting hit by traffic. 3, it is kind of a pain to slow down to pull into your driveway when there's, people behind you. So this doesn't look like it's too bad. So I'd probably be closer on the side of 10% discount as opposed to 20%. It's not like it's like on a freeway or something crazy where there's like street lights. So let's just take a quick look here at the front. All right. I mean, it looks clean. It looks real clean. I like this for $30,000. I'm already getting the vibe that this is nice. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, juicy. Okay, let's go back here. So Jesse's telling me the rental. Listen, we're doing all the research back here, guys. Listen, you want to get something comped on this show? We're gonna go through everything. $1,600 estimate online for the rent here. Bananas. Now this is telling me it's a 3-1. Jennifer, if you'll just confirm that it is a 1-bath, that's always going to affect us, right? It's gonna limit the pool of buyers because people hate sharing 1 bathroom, but they do it. Just depends. A young couple, a single person, maybe a young family that doesn't, has a few years to kind of grow into a new property. Let's go to the comparables. And let's go both here. Let's go neighbors. Neighbors sale date. I just want to see specifically in that neighborhood what is going on. Okay, wow. We got some low properties over here. Holy cow. What is going on? Look at this. The neighbor went for $17,500. Oh, come on, PropStream. Give us the pictures. Oh, come on. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Good thing I have this nifty thing called Google. Let's take a look at what this neighbor looks like. Went for, wait. Now it's on the market for $117,500 pending. Boom. That's why you do a little extra research. 3-1. Are you kidding me? Lock that deal up. I think something happened here. Somebody got a smoking deal. Holy cow. $17,500 back in April. It is now August, early August, and they put $100,000 on top of what they bought it for. I think we've got an area that's got some heat.
And yes, it is a 3-1.
3-1. Okay, good. I want to look at this one that was a 3-1, went for $45,000. Somebody obviously just won a raffle to be the realtor for this deal because they put zero effort into marketing this and took pictures on what I would assume is a BlackBerry phone. And got 45 for it. So, I mean, you've got this deal here. This right here is speaking to me. 21. Let's see where this is at. This one is 2129. Ooh, but it is number 55. It might be down the road a bit. No, it's right there. It's right here. Look at that. And that one is pending at 117.5. I mean, let's see what they did to it. Oh, come on. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Look at this. This isn't even an island. This is a piece of furniture that they rolled in there and put a countertop on it. This is like a workbench that they put a countertop on and are going to make like $80,000 on this deal. So they cleaned it up. They did a good job. It's a 3-1. It's the exact same square footage. Jennifer, you need to lock that deal up right now. Should we break down what she should sell this for? I think so. Come on. All right, Jennifer, here we go. ARV 117,500, right? It's right there. Okay. Now this thing's 900 square feet. So what I want to do, let's do this because this is confusing and I want to be better at explaining this. So right off the bat, just subtract 6%. 6%. So in other words, times it, multiply it by 0.94. Mike, what does that put us at?
110,450.
110,450. Okay. 450. All right. This is just for the closing costs, which it'll probably be a little bit more than that, but it's a good estimate here. The closing costs and commissions.
So, Brent, closing costs are about what, 2%, and agent commissions are about 4%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So 110,450. Okay. And then it's 900 square feet. Let's assume that it is destroyed 900 square feet. So let's go with about 30,000 in repairs. All right. That means we've got this thing at about 80,450. All right. That's typically, oh, I'm sorry.
What does the cash buyer want to make?
I missed the most important part here. Let's get a minimum profit that an investor is going to want is $20,000 on a deal. Okay, I think this is where people get confused when properties are over 200,000. So they're going to want at least this for profit for putting in the efforts. All right. Then we're going to subtract the 30,000 for repairs. Repairs.
60,450.
And that's 60,000 what? 450. That's your wholesale price, Jennifer. You got a sweet 30K deal on your hands. Sweet 30K deal on your hands. You got it at 30. Woo! You got a $30,450,000 deal. I want you locking that up right now. Hey, come on in, Bobby. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're looking great. Welcome. Welcome. Look at this. We're like twins. Come here. That's you. We're answering questions today. All right?
Okay, cool.
Before we do the podcast and break it down, $60,000 a month last month? Or this month?
Yeah,
or what?
Yeah, 60, yeah.
And tell everybody your background. Military man?
Yeah, military. Navy.
Wrestling?
Yeah.
All right?
Of it, yeah.
All of it, right? How long have you been in wholesale?
So maybe like about 3 years, but I want to say like that first year and a half, like I was not like committed. Like
okay.
I was very, everything you hear, like sporadic deals coming in, a lot of empty months and no activity. But yeah, definitely this last year.
Is that because of your schedule? Is that because transitioning from this life to being a real estate entrepreneur? Like, what was that 6 months like? Because we're going through, we're speaking to a lot of people here right now.
Yeah.
So they are, but a lot of people are going through this transition. A lot of people, everybody watching has that fire in their belly to do this business. But it's that transition, right? The transition from your life before wholesaling to, right.
Yeah, I'm still going through it. It was rough. Like when I first started out, I was working a shift schedule.
Yeah.
12 hours on, and I'd get a few days off. And when I first started, those off days, I was basically like another job.
Yeah.
I was making those calls.
Yeah.
It was rough, but I feel like it's that stuff that you have to put in.
Was it rough? Was it rough because you were used to just relaxing on the times that you had off, and you're like chilling, and now you're doing stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm running all the time.
Yeah. Everyone wants to relax.
Right.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Like the normal, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then the weekends, it's like, oh, this is my time off.
Right.
So 12-hour shift, my off days. Yeah. I'd love to just relax and watch TV. Just eat all day. And that's what everyone wants to do.
Yeah.
But to grow and get to that next level, you have to like put the work in. Like,
Yeah.
No success story starts with, oh, I just hung out all day on my couch.
Right.
So
Right.
you just gotta
So
start
what'd you do?
somewhere.
How'd you get through it?
I a little bit of time blocking, like
Yep.
all the stuff that you mentioned.
Yep.
Just scheduling it and making those calls. It was rough because sometimes I'd be on nights and I can't really make calls at midnight. I don't think
What
people
was the
appreciate that.
what was the 12-hour shift? What were you doing?
6 to 6.
Right.
And just shift work.
What were you doing? What does shift work mean?
I
mean, what was your role?
My so with my job, I deal with military intelligence.
Right.
So
Got it.
we
So
just
tell
dealt
us some
with-
secrets. No.
Yeah. I just put them all out there.
Okay. So still doing it? Out of it.
Yeah. I'm still.
What's your schedule now?
So now I've transitioned to more of like a we call it front office. So it's just a normal.
This is like the Navy?
Yeah.
Like when is your contract up with the Navy?
So I'm still going through stuff. Going through like a medical separation right now.
Got it.
This is all from my past with wrestling and everything. A lot
Yeah.
of injuries. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. So you don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's just how.
So
it
you're
works.
active military,
Yes.
doing wholesaling,
Yep.
closed $60,000 last month.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not all me. But
I know.
yeah. Oh, I get to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What an
Awesome.
inspiration. Well, thank you for your service. You ready to take some questions?
Yeah. Anything.
All right, good. This is your warm up to the podcast.
Yeah. I just.
This is great. No, and I'm telling you, I mean the all the men and women that are in service to the country that join the TTP family, it's just it might take a little bit longer because of the schedule, especially when you're active, but they all stick with it. It's really incredible. It's really inspirational. It really is. There's like no quitting on it. It's great.
Yeah. It's just different mentality, I guess.
By the way, Jennifer from Illinois is about to just close a $30K deal.
Oh, nice.
She's got a deal worth $115. They want $30,
Okay.
and worth $117. They want $30, and she's going to crush it. She's going to get it locked up
Dang.
today, and by next week, Jennifer, I want you to post that you got that thing sold for $30K plus. All right?
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. First deal.
I don't know. First deal.
First deal. Dang,
Yeah.
that's when it's like real.
Yeah. Yeah. You better believe it. Do you still use ringless voicemail? Nope, Samuel. I haven't used ringless voicemail since 2016. I think somebody put somewhere that I had a ringless voicemail script, and everybody thought that I did a bunch of ringless voicemails. It's not been anything that's moved the needle for us here. Did a couple deals early on when it was first coming out. But I think that it just got way overused. Do you use them? Have you used them?
I mean, I tried it at the beginning, just because it seemed easy. You just blast it out there, and people call back. And after doing it a couple times, I didn't really get any success, and it was just a lot of angry people calling back. So I was like, this is not fun. So yeah, I tried it a little bit, gave up on it, did not like it.
Yeah, Samuel. I mean, you might be able to search it in YouTube, but I don't know anybody that's like personally. I don't know anybody that's really crushing it with ringless voicemail.
It might be getting affected with the new
Trace
laws
Act
and stuff
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Text for sure. Pauline, I make calls, but I'm not the greatest at closing calls. How can I improve? Well, first of all, Pauline, if you're making the calls, that's like 90% of it. Okay? The other 10% is this. When you are pre-qualifying, if you just stick to making sure that the conversations you have are all about the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying: the condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation, and price. You pull those out, the natural progression is the closing. I mean, the closing should not be some secret words that you use that convince them of anything. You're not going to convince.
Spell.
You're not going to convince anybody of anything. It's about pre-qualifying and doing a really good job on your presentation, whether that's virtual or face-to-face. If you need any instruction on that presentation, ttpinsider.com. We've got a download there that you can, the perfect offer presentation pack. So take a look at that. But really, don't beat yourself up, Pauline. If you're making those calls, pre-qualify, get in front of them, get them to sign the contract. If they are truly motivated, it's really hard to screw it up.
Yeah.
How do you feel your closing skills are?
Oh man, I was horrible at first.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you could be worse than I was.
Okay.
Starting out.
What does that mean? Well, speak to Pauline. What does that mean?
Oh man, like I was before TTP, like I was socially awkward. Like I did not talk to people. I was the guy in like high school walking around with like a hoodie on, like not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And the calls will obviously make you better with talking to people and handling that.
Yep.
But the closing, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like
just
as
ask
long
them
as
to
you're just talk to them and figure out how you can help them. If you can help them, the closing will happen naturally. You're just putting like too much pressure on yourself. That's how I feel I changed with my closing skills.
Perfect. Yeah, totally agree. Awesome. Kelly, how many phone calls should you be making in 20 hours? So, Mike, do you have the calculator? What's 150 times 200? Is it, 20? 150 times 20, is it 3,500? My math is
3,000.
3,000. Boom. Oh, close. My math on this show is comical. About 3,000 calls, Kelly. But really I wouldn't track it too much. I mean, it's good to track that to just make sure that they're doing it. But the technology will get you there. Typically, you can, if you're uploading 3 phone numbers per address for the properties that you've skip traced, typically you can get through 50 addresses an hour. All right, which is 150 calls an hour on a triple line dialer. Don't use the 10-line dialer. Don't use a 5-line dialer. It sets you up for a reflex. You think everybody's going to tell you no, and you get kind of like in the groove. It just sets a weird path in your brain to assume that they're going to say no. So get the triple-line dialer, 150 calls an hour, 3,000 in 20 hours. Great question.
Yeah, adding those lines will probably affect your contact rate too.
Yeah.
So, don't go over 3. It's not advised.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Oh, from IG, Jonathan Chaco, I have deals, yet how do I find more buyers besides Facebook Marketplace? Well, first of all, Jonathan, Facebook Marketplace should be the last resort. We have a cash buyer pack, TTP Insider. It literally shows you how to get the top 100 buyers. TTP Insider cash buyer pack. Get in there. Jonathan, I'm telling you, it's going to show you. But just to answer your question here, what I would do is just go on to Zillow, go on to Realtor.com, or go on to Redfin, and you want to look at the area that you have that deal locked up, and then you want to scroll through in that zip code or that area, whatever city, just depends on what size market you're at. I want you to go through all of the real estate agents that have flips. And I want you to call up those real estate agents and say, that flip looks great. It looks amazing. I'd love to give you another one. I've got another opportunity in that area. Would you like to put it in front of your seller, of your fix and flipper, of your investor? And you can get a lot. You can do a lot of damage. It's just picking up the phone and calling. You can pull a list off of PropStream of the cash buyers, which I show you all that step by step in that cash buyer pack. Yeah. How would you go about it?
So I guess kind of like tagging along with the like Zillow. So you can actually, obviously you have a zip code for where your property is at. And I'm just now starting to build up my dispo, honestly.
Sure.
So these are things that I'm currently doing. So you have your zip code, go into Zillow and type in that zip code and then see who the premier agents are.
Yep.
Because those are people that are paying to get leads.
Yeah.
So just reach out to them. They're paying, they want leads, see if they can help you. Not everyone's going to be able to help you. Like some realtors just don't like working with investors.
Yeah.
But it's no different. You TTP on the seller side, you got TTP on the buyer side.
That's it, brother. You better believe it. Awesome. What do we got? Brandon. Pizza Eye, Brandon. Here we go. Are the lists on PropStream bad? Still having a problem getting deals on there. We get deals every week from it, Brandon. So I guess it just depends on which lists you're going after and how you're going about having those conversations. Just remember, when you're pulling it from PropStream, everybody can pull that. If you can click a few buttons and get a list, everybody can do that. So what I would suggest is if you're still trying to build the momentum, Brandon, I don't know where you're at in your business, driving for dollars for sure, and start going after some of those niche lists. Start going after those vacant land. Start going after those tired multifamily. Maybe go after multifamily that are bigger. Stretch yourself a little bit. Go try to play around with that, but don't give up. I mean, if it's just if you're like 2-3 hours into a list, you need to be like 1,000 calls into a list. You need to get that 6-8 hours into a list before you judge it, because there could be one person that you call on there that turns into 20-30,000 like Jennifer that you get off of that. Right? Do you pull any lists off PropStream?
So I do. I usually use it for like the big ones, like landlords, stuff like that.
Tired landlords.
The only question I'd have with that is, it could be the list, but it also could be, maybe the data. Where is he getting it skip traced from?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Make sure you're getting it from batch skip tracing. That might be affecting your contact rate. Yeah, great point. Awesome. Philip, Brent, what's a good number of times to call a lead per day? Well, Philip, it just depends on, is this a hot lead, or is this a warm lead, or is this a cold lead, right? And the difference is timeline on these things. The difference is, when are they going to make a decision to sign a purchase agreement and move forward with the sale of that property. If it is a hot lead, I want you to call, voicemail, text them every single day until you get a hold of them. All right? They should be responding to you somewhat. They should be showing signs of motivation and responding to you every single day. If it's a warm lead, that just means that they do want to sign they do want to sell their property, but there's something stopping them from doing it right away. They're 30 days out. They're over 30 days. They're going to make the decision there. I want you to call them every week, and if they're over 6 months, call them every other week. Good. Right, Mike? That's right. We just went over that. That's good. The info at TTP. Yeah, Joanne. Thank you. I agree. We work really, really hard on it. Mike has worked really hard on it. Jesse's worked really hard on it. I've worked really hard on it. Alejandro. Everybody's worked hard on that TTP Insider, and we keep adding to it. So make sure you get in there and sign up for free. It's got a ton of free downloads. So you'll have all the resources you need to start your momentum.
Yeah.
Yep. Zachary, how do you find buyers that are confident to buy sight unseen? That's a great question, because most of our deals are sold sight unseen. One is we've got an incredible reputation. All right, just because we've been doing it a long time and we sell deals, we just don't, we disclose everything that we know about the property, which makes people be able to make a decision. And I think a lot of it, Zachary, is our market. A lot of markets aren't going to be like that. Our market is just very, 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 very fast and very aggressive. So our market is, this is kind of a longer story, but 2008 through 2010, our real estate market was destroyed, and most of the properties that investors purchased were at the foreclosure auctions. Oh. So you didn't really necessarily get to see inside those properties. You bought those properties sight unseen. So a lot of the big time players just developed their skills of comping and understanding the rehab costs just based on outside drive-bys. All right. Now we give them pictures. We give them a breakdown. They're like, oh my gosh, this is like a full-on inspection. Basically, it's not, but it makes it a lot easier for them. So one, building up your reputation is very, very, very a big part of that. And then two, it's just our market here. Most big major markets, the people that pay the most are the people that are the most experienced, and they know their numbers. They've got crews. They've got their costs for rehab is much smaller than a mom and pop, because they've got so many people. Their crews are just very efficient, and so they buy it sight unseen. Have you ever sold one sight unseen?
Personally, no.
Okay.
But I've squatted up with Keegley, and they do. And it's all reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Fernando, Brent, is there room in wholesaling to be dispositions only? Build relationships with cash buyers and help deals get sold. Fernando, this is, I mean, as you evolve in this, you're going to find that you start getting referrals because people can't move their deals, or if they're new, they're looking for that cash buyer, and you become that. The best example is Keegley. You know, Jamil Damji and his company there with Josiah and Hunter, they've done a phenomenal job of just doing dispo. They've got 80,000 plus cash buyers in each market, and so people will bring them the deals, and then they'll get them sold for everybody. So it is a wonderful strategy. You just got to build a good reputation again, and you got to build a big, robust cash buyer database that are ready to make a decision, so that when people don't want to mess with selling their deals, they go and sell them. You're selling them through Keegley.
Yeah, I decided to just focus on acquisition and lead generation.
And why is that?
Just with kind of time constraints,
right?
Just because I still have my military duties.
Yep.
It's just a lot to take on because I view it as like 3 parts. So I can at least focus on the first 2, and there's people that'll help me with this position.
Yep.
Gladly help with this position.
Yeah.
So why not rely on that? And they already have a list built.
I'm going to tell you to build up that cash.
Oh, I'm working on it now. I got some ideas.
Yeah, Fernando, it is people build their whole multi-million-dollar businesses based on dispositions. Absolutely. I would do as much research on Keegley, on New Western as much as possible. New Western's another company that does that, and Keegley. I would look at those two if you want to find a model, and just depending on your financial situation, Keegley sells franchises, which is why you're in town, right?
Yeah. My wife is
working for
Philip. So,
yeah. So
I met Josiah yesterday.
Yeah, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. So really strong. Oh, come on,
nice.
Mario, you animal! Look at this. Well, Mario White, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Mario White's in TTP.
Oh, nice.
That's great. 17,200 closed Monday. Ring that bell. ATM Properties. I love that. ATM. It is a cash machine.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is.
That's what wholesaling is. Listen, don't get it twisted. Here's the very important thing to understand. Our goal is to be real estate investors, right? That means that you own real estate. Wholesaling is not owning real estate. Wholesaling is providing the service of sourcing opportunities, finding discounted properties, and selling it to investors. All right. Now, the beautiful thing about that is we get paid very well for being able to do that, which means we get the money in, we build a nice, happy, healthy, heavy bank account so that we can be real estate investors, so that we can invest in our assets. But first, what we need to do is replace our job.
Yep.
As long as we're not in some sort of military contract.
A little different.
Right? But replace your income, replace your 9 to 5, and then pay off your consumer debts, and then start buying assets. And that's the path. That's the path to freedom. That's the path to building up that wealth, to building wealth. So congratulations, Mario. So happy for you, brother. How can I be a TTP student? TKM 609. What is it, Jesse? TTPcall.com. Check it out. TTPcall.com. We've got some of the testimonials in there, not as much as the other. Yeah, okay. Anyway, check out what it's about. If it feels good in your gut, TKM, sign up for a call. Love to work with you personally. It comes with an unbelievable community of people that all support each other and are all doing business. I think that's the most important thing. When you feel like you are surrounded by people that are doing more than you, not even feel, that you're surrounded by people doing more than you, it makes you run faster. When you're running from behind, you want to catch up. You don't want to be left behind, right? So it's really, really important that you get a part of a community that understands, because the fact is, you start having conversations with people that you work with, or family or friends or whatever else, about wholesaling real estate.
Usually not supportive.
They're going to look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Because they just don't know.
Yeah. Well, they think that they're trying to help you.
Right.
They don't want anything bad to happen to you. It's not intentional, but
right.
It just turns out that way.
Yeah, why are you getting into that?
Yeah.
So be around people that understand what you're doing, because they're doing it themselves. Love to work with you. And that'd be cool if that's what he really looks like. Or she. I don't know. Pauline, how do you manage potential property acquisitions remotely? How do you manage potential property acquisitions remotely? Are you doing everything in what market? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
nothing.
Obviously, right now it's remote because I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just say like squad up or find someone to work with.
Love it. Remember, Pauline, most of this business is done on the phone. Most of it is not done face to face. So manage the property acquisition. You basically pick up the phone and be in communication. That's like number one. You have to be the best communicator. You don't let a text go by without, a minute or two responding. A voicemail, you call right back if you missed it. Answer the call live as much as possible. You do that and it feels like you're building that relationship. You're by them all the time, right? I mean, if you look at life, it's very rare that we're around all the loved ones, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our family all the time. But we feel connected because of communication, because we pick up the phone and we talk to each other, or text or whatever else. So just make sure that you are a bulldog at answering your phone and responding and following up and communicating. All right, Pauline, that's the number one most important thing when it comes to the virtual appointment. Make sure that you schedule a Zoom call with the property owners as a professional courtesy and get on and walk through the purchase agreement so that you get that signed right then and there. Don't just send it and pray and hope and pray that it works out.
Big mistake doing that.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, Brent, what book are you reading today? Stephanie, great question. I am reading Mastery by Robert Greene. I read the other Mastery, the little one by Leonard, but this one is Robert Greene. It's a tough read. I mean, it's an incredible read. I've got half the book highlighted. I've had to go back and back and back, and it's small print. And I'm like, usually I'm reading 50 to 60 pages an hour. I'm reading like 20. Yeah, all of his books are like that. Yeah,
it's like really dense.
48 Laws of Power. He did that. He did a Mastery one, and I think it's phenomenal. It talks about the different stages of us learning and growing, and the difficulties and the pitfalls and what to do to push through to mastery. And really, it talks about your self-task. It's really interesting, and I wanted to go really heady at the beginning of the show. I wanted to go real deep on like, what's the odds of you actually being alive? And, but Mike's look kind of reeled me in. He's like, just get into it. Just give him the meat and potatoes. You're going to get on a platform and just talk about crazy stuff all day. But honestly, your self-task, why are you here? Why are you here? Like, what is what's that passion? What's that fire that you have? And really, he talks about becoming the master at the things that you're most interested in, the thing that really fires you up the most, and that's actually what brings the money and success, as opposed to just focusing on money and success.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. It's very, very strong. So, Stephanie, I highly suggest it. Give yourself I don't know, maybe you're a speed reader, but give yourself some time to digest it. It's wild. Yeah. Good question. 770 Bezzy, how would you overcome a seller that wants to see proof of funds?
Easy. Just, I reach out to Keegley. They help me with that.
Okay, what does that mean?
I just tell them, I just basically make an agreement with them saying, hey, I need a proof of funds. Is it okay if you provide that to me, and I'll send the deal straight to you? And pretty easy.
So they give you the proof of funds?
Yeah.
But you have to dispo it with them?
Yeah.
And what is your split with that?
Just 50-50.
50-50 on the dispo. So what are you averaging per deal?
I'd say right now about 20.
And then you get 10?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Proof of funds. Go to Keegley. They'll hook you up with that. I know Jerry Norton has something that you can look into, and you can just, you could talk to any hard money lender in town, any private money lender in town, and just say, hey, I'm out there every day. I'm getting opportunities. When people need to see a proof of funds, can I get a credit letter or some sort of letter of funding from you? Just something that says that the capital is available and they should be able to do that.
Yeah. If you have a trusted buyer too, I mean,
That's it. Well,
don't do it all the time. Don't become like a cash buyer employee, but you can do that too. There's a lot of ways. It's just whatever best fits the situation, I'd say.
Transactional funders, and I mean, it goes back to being the actual buyer and having that financial ability or capability to close on every deal that you lock up. One is transactional funding. Two is go talk to somebody, just raise the funds for a down payment. I'm not saying that you'll ever use it, but just have it there in your back pocket so that you have the confidence that you can actually be a cash buyer, that you actually are a cash buyer. It's critical. Jared, there he goes. Come on.
Nice.
Just assigned a deal yesterday for $14,500, closing the 18th. Another closing on the 10th for $16K. And by the way, he is in a market that the prices are not crazy. I mean, that is some big deals in Lubbock, Texas.
Oh yeah, that's
so.
Up there.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Big deals. Jared does our rock star to rookie calls for the coaching program every other Tuesday, and just does a phenomenal question and answer rock star to rookie call for the coaching students. Really crushes it. Really great. You got to update that picture, Jared. That looks like it's like 10 years ago, bro. All right, let's be honest. You're wearing a puka shell necklace. I don't even know where you buy one of those. That has to be a Brazil thing. And I know you were living in Brazil like 1,000 years ago.
Maybe it's in style in Lubbock. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I know that face. That's an old picture. All right, how to find buyers for vacant land. Good question. One, if you weren't here a little about a half hour ago, one is talk to the neighbors that border that property. Okay, because those are going to be the ones that will spend the most on it. The next one is just look for anybody that has a listing that, like, just search on Zillow, search on Redfin, properties that were built like 2020 or even 2019, year built and above, and reach out to those agents and see if they're representing developers. Typically they are. Typically they're looking for some really good opportunities. The reason I say go through agents is, one, it's their job to do real estate deals. Yeah. And two, it's a lot easier getting a real estate agent's phone number than it is going down and seeing who has a contractor's license, seeing who bought that property, who sold it, going into the corporate records, getting the managing member, skip tracing the managing member, keeping that all organized, get it back in so that you can call them and talk to them. Just get the real estate agent and see, because typically the developers don't even want to mess with us. No, they want to go through their agent and just get the deal done. So there you go.
I'm actually going through that right now.
Talk to me.
Just trying to find a buyer for vacant land, doing all that same stuff you're talking about, reaching out to realtors, seeing what they got to do. Another thing with realtors is you got to TTP them as well. They're not always best at getting back to you, unfortunately. So you gotta do your follow-ups with realtors.
Yeah,
too.
you do. For sure.
It's tough.
Yeah. MJJ, Smooth Criminal. Michael Jackson. Brent, what do you say when a seller says, time for a disclaimer? We can move forward with respect. First of all, listen to me. I don't even have to finish this sentence to know to move on. All right? But let's do this as an exercise. We can move forward with respectable offers, and we don't make contract agreements with individuals with a signee clause.
Okay.
Well, a couple different things. Number one, they're kind of screwing around. This is somebody that's experienced. This is somebody that's probably a wholesaler or investor. And I will tell you, in my experience, not 99.9%. It's not even that. I would say it's 100% of the time. Do you see how dramatic that was, Mike? 100% of the time, those are investors that want more than what it's worth. I mean, they want to make sure that they squeeze out every little bit of that, or their attorneys, or their real estate agents. Yep. And because of that, they should be putting their home on the market. Now, these people might be putting it out there with that disclaimer because the property's in really rough condition and they're just curious on what they can sell it for. But for the most part, they should just put it on the, I mean, not the most part, they should just put it on the market and see what the market will give them. I don't smell even a whiff of motivation here.
I've gotten to deal with stuff like that. Usually they're just high drivers.
Yeah.
And you just got to be really upfront with them.
Okay.
And if you're trying to be sneaky around someone who's a high driver personality, they're going to sniff it out.
Yeah.
Because usually they're landlords. They're investors already. So they'll know. And then they'll never talk to you again. The one deal I had last month was $20,000. That was someone similar to this situation.
Okay.
Where they were just very upfront, like, oh, like, are you going to buy it? And I told them, well, if it's a good deal,
that's
maybe.
a lot different. Listen,
It's similar, I feel like.
that is a lot different than
different?
disclaimer. We can move forward with respectable
like on a
offers,
listing, like on a listing?
and we don't make contract agreements with individuals with a signee clause.
Like on a listing, is that what it is? Or like they went to them and in person they said...
Yeah, I think that they're taking a bunch of offers and they're putting this out to everybody and just say, don't put the assignee. Listen, there's been plenty.
If it's a listing, then...
This is a different... So, real quick, if they just say, hey, listen, are you the actual buyer? The answer is yes, if you're the actual buyer. If you don't have the financial backing, if you don't have the transactional funding, whatever else, then you have to tell them that you are wholesaling it, all right? Now, I've gone through this a ton of times because people get burned by people that lock up a deal that can't assign it because it was too high. But again, it's because the price is too high. Listen, if the price is right, if it is truly a deal, if you've got the price out of them, smooth criminal, and it's a deal, then find the funds. That's way different. That's way, 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 way different than if they are saying all this and they expect a higher price that you can't pay. That's just it.
You
Typically
can team up
with
with
something
a
like
cash
this,
buyer.
it's higher. Yeah, for sure. Team up with a cash buyer. Find an investor in town.
Yeah, like I had one that was at the max offer. Couldn't sell it because there wasn't any room for wholesale, and just teamed up with a buyer I knew. Hey, let's flip it together and split it.
There you go.
Got it done.
Comes down to price. If the price isn't there, which, come on. Somebody's going bananas here. We'll move on.
Do you think if somebody can't find a cash partner for a deal, does that tell you in a lot of cases that it's probably not a deal?
It's not a deal. Yeah. Listen, if it's a deal in 2021, in mid-2021, if it is a deal,
they wouldn't have to put that.
It is getting swallowed up right away. You're gonna find the money. You're gonna find it's gonna be as smooth as possible. All right. Do we have anybody watching right now that's active military? Would love to know that. Yeah. Love to know. Probably not because they're probably
they might be at work right now.
Working, but
I
we'll
can't
see.
even have my phone at work.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. And that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people in the military join TTP because you can't miss calls from marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you miss calls from marketing, you're not going to get that deal, and you can't have your
proactive.
phone. So you literally have to do it when you can do it.
Yeah.
You have to control your schedule. Yeah. We had one. Where'd it go? There it is. Hamilton. That's a cool name. Yeah. Brent, I'm working on getting my first deal. When is the right time to get a VA during the journey on my real estate business? 30,000 3 straight months. Woo, the old Sean Terry rule. Make 30,000 3 straight months. Now, most people won't take that, won't accept that advice, and that's fine. But what I'll say is just remember when you hire somebody, you have their financial responsibility of them and their family in your hands. All right, that's for real. Like the decisions that you make affect them greatly. All right, so one, just make sure that you're ready for that. Two, just make sure that you have a budget for them to at least be with you for minimum 90 days. So, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a VA for calling, like a phone prospector calling for you, it depends on how much money you have, what your budget is, and if you're locked down, you might have to, hire somebody because your schedule's just not giving you enough swings at the plate.
Yeah, still put in that work though, because if you don't know how to handle the calls, how are you going to train someone else? How are you going to be helpful?
Well, and also, I mean, it's you talked about it. The ability to communicate more effectively Because
it'll
you've
help you in
talked to
all
a ton of
aspects.
strangers.
Yeah, it'll help you in all aspects. It'll help you with the acquisition side, the disposition side. It's a needed skill.
Yeah. Awesome. What do we got? Isaiah. How do you wholesale a sub-2 deal? Since it's not an all-cash transaction, how would I collect my assignment fee? The same way, Isaiah.
Easy.
Yeah, you just assign it with an assignment fee. You know, they pay you to put them on the contract. I mean, they pay you for them to take over the sub-2. All right, so they're going to be the ones that own the property, but you're just assigning it over to them. So you're signing your paperwork that you have in the sub-2. Same thing. I mean, it's just the same thing, but they're just going to give you the funds or run it through title. Yeah. Same. Don't overthink it. Just find somebody that, hey, listen, I'll give you this for. I mean, you typically have to be more upfront about what you want to make on it. You're not just going to put this thing out at like, oh, $220 and it's yours. Yeah. It's going to be, hey, do you want this sub-2? Here's the details. It'll cost you $10,000. Emilio, here we go. How would you go about partnering up with peeps you love and care about and help them get out of the 9 to 5? I don't mind giving 50-50 if I know we're both winning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not what you want to hear, but sometimes you just can't. People just don't. Like, they're fine. You have to have that like fire inside to want to do it. I tried, probably with like a handful of people to do that, and all of them, nothing.
You mean you were like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to join the company?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Well, yeah.
They're like,
well, I mean, they won't say no to you right away, but nothing will get done.
Got it.
And I mean, it's nothing like bad. It's just they don't have the same drive.
Yeah, Emilio, this comes back to being Magneto, right? Being the magnet in your group, in your sphere, in your network, in your family, in your friends and all that. They see you taking serious action. They see you being super happy and successful and doing cool things, and they start reaching out, and they're like, hey, this is interesting. What I would say is make sure that they've got really good skills that'll fit into this business, especially if you're hiring them to be a acquisition manager, disposition manager, different roles in this. I would go back to the breakdown that I did about scaling your business on this show a few weeks ago, and take a look at what my team looks like. But it's all friends and family. All I have is friends and family that work for me for the most part. And it's but they came to me. They came to me, and it's been really, really, really solid. So I wouldn't give up 50-50. I understand where you're coming from. You want to just be that support. I would say you need to go out and be the guy on the white horse that leads everybody, and you should be getting the lion's share of the profits, or everybody else is it's just not going to work out. You're just not going to be sustainable. If you're making the income and you're doing the right things and buying all the assets, you're going to win, and then you show them. You need to be the example, not just the person that's giving them, half of the deal, right? Because there's going to be resentment that comes in there. I don't think that you need to have a partner in it unless it's like a wife or husband or something like that, or brother or family or something. But if it's just people that 50-50, I wouldn't do it. I mean, just keep it. Just be the example, and then they'll follow.
Yeah. I tried doing the same thing at first, and honestly, it wasn't until the whole Magneto effect, just being successful by myself for a little bit, where those people naturally just found me.
Yeah.
And they happened to be around me. I didn't even realize.
Love it. By the way, I've got a custom Magneto painting that the guys think I'm crazy for making, but it's going to have a big TTP on it. It's going to be badass. All right? It's going to be up in this studio somewhere, or in the new one. I don't know. All right. Or my bedroom. Yeah. Hey, Brent, I'm in DMV. Do you think it's too saturated here? Nope.
DC, Baltimore area.
Yeah, I know it. And Anicia, and I'm butchering this. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, what I would say is no. What I love about your market is, one, it's super old. Two, there's incredible opportunities with multifamily. Three, there's incredible opportunities with Section 8 areas in your market, so people pay more because they get guaranteed payments through Section 8, which is incredible. I don't think that it's too saturated there. I do think that you need to focus on driving for dollars and make sure that you're adding vacant lots to your driving for dollars, because a lot of people can just easily pull lists, and that's fine. You'll get deals from that, but I would drive for dollars hard, and get that done.
There's more people, some more opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, you just
I see
you've got a very interesting market there. Just expand your driving for dollars, expand where you're at. I wouldn't go too high end, because you can go real bananas in the pricing there. I would probably stay with an ARV under 400,000 for single family and under 600,000 for multifamily. Good question, Eric. There he is.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Hey, Brent, closing a deal this Friday. Come on. You kidding me? $66,000. 66. Isn't this who's been asking you for the shirt?
Nice.
Did you send Eric his shirt and his planner? All right. Eric, you've got it. There you go. Your first email went to spam. I guess, but we got you covered, and it's on its way. Yep. Yeah. No, he was like, Alejandra hasn't responded. And I was like, that's impossible. That's impossible. She is on top of it. But there you go, Eric. Congratulations, 66,000. Massive
Nice.
deal.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
Massive
awesome.
deal. Eric does massive deals, though. That's what
Is it
he
in
does.
Washington?
That's his thing. Yeah.
Background? I don't know if it's just a picture. What
Yep.
is that?
Yeah, in Seattle. Yeah, he does a great job. Also, what's the best in MJJ Smooth Criminal? Also, what's the best and fastest way to find a boots on the ground?
The TTP Facebook group. Who's in that market?
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, outside of that, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're all connected. So what I would say is, one, if you're in a really good wholesaling group, that's fantastic. If not, join the real estate investing groups in that market. But also, I would probably find somebody that has just got their real estate license. They're looking to really just build up some steam in their business and as a real estate agent, and start working with them, because the more established ones, typically they've got a good book of business and it keeps them pretty busy, but the people just starting out are probably the best for your boots on the ground. And it just depends on what you need them for. You know what I mean? Do you need them to go on appointments? Maybe. That's probably the only thing that you need them to do, is go on the seller appointment and get the contract signed. But remember, you can do a lot of damage with a mobile notary.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of damage with a mobile notary. Just Google mobile notary in whatever market you're in, send them over to get the contract signed and to take pictures. Because, again, you can do a lot just by picking up the phone and calling them. I mean, even if you want to take it to the next level, see if they'll FaceTime with you. Some people don't know what the hell that is, but if they do, you can do some FaceTiming or some Zoom, go through that, or just get the mobile notary. I think one of them's called 123 Notary. That's what's in my head right now. But mobile notaries. Jared. Brent, it's the picture. It's the picture. It's the picture. Brent, what is your way to pitch to the seller on owner-occupied, having cash buyers come through the property? It just, again, most of our deals we do sight unseen, but I would just tell them, I've got everybody coming through. I've got financial partners. I've got people that do the work. I've got contractors coming through. I've just got everybody coming through in the inspection for a couple hours in the that will need a few days from now. So I mean, just be honest with them. I've got my partners, I've got my buyers, I've got contractors, I've got all sorts of people coming through. It's going to be a circus, it's going to be a zoo, but after 2 hours they'll get out.
Want to do a comp?
Yeah, let's comp one up. Ooh, yes. Okay, we're in Indiana. Found cold calling. It's under contract for $30,000, but I want to see your comp compared to mine. All right. Well, first of all, if it's under contract, Michael, you should be getting that thing sold. So maybe it already is.
With how crazy real estate market is right now, I would just be like, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, well, listen, Indiana's a whole different deal, bro. Indiana's got some interesting price points.
Okay.
That's Bona.
B-O-N-A.
Did you find it, Jesse?
Yeah.
I'm not finding it at all.
It's pretty terrible.
East Bona, Bonna?
Yeah.
A-N-A-N-A-S.
Indian. Let me search it in Google and then pull it from there. Sometimes that works better with PropStream. It's looking pretty good though. Yeah. Looks good.
Collapse.
No, this looks good.
That doesn't look bad.
Yeah, this is nice. Okay. I'm just pulling it here, guys. Copy this. Let me see if I can get it into PropStream. There it is. Got it. So it took out the east for some reason. It didn't like the east. All right, so you got it for $30,000.
Is it duplex or something?
I assume it's this one.
Unless it's like a duplex or something.
You got
Or no, it
two
says
of them
single
with the
family.
same address. I assume it's going to be this one. I'm going to go with the one that has the lower estimated value. Okay. Let's take a look at the aerial shot.
What the heck's that?
Here.
Oh, I bet it's like a lot and they own that chunk of land.
So it's a flag lot. You think it's the one up
Maybe. Is
here?
it like a separate thing? Maybe that's why I had like 2 records?
So this is just vacant land. So I assume he's got it. Is it the property that he's?
Street view.
Yep. It's got two under the same address. Oh, it's a tree.
What is it?
This thing.
Oh, hold on. Go to your right. There you go.
Is it that?
That guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Let me go back to that other search, and it's going to be this
I
one.
wonder if it's...
Okay. All right. So, built in 1944. Yeah, this is probably it. Okay. Interesting. Big lot. Huge lot.
Is that other lot just like separately divided but part of it as well? Like,
That's nice. I mean, I want to see what the neighborhood's looking like. It's charming. All right. You got some decent
Okay.
properties over here, and then you've got our guy. I'll tell you what. Is it Michael, right? Michael put this up?
Yeah.
I love this deal. Woo! I like taking a look at that. Look at that. The beautiful thing is, all these neighbors are like, I can't wait until somebody does something with this house. And you're going to be the one that facilitates that. It's got a huge lot.
huge.
Looks like it's pretty typical for the area. There's some good lots over there. Kind of an awkwardly shaped lot. I want to look at what's going on in the neighborhood and see specifically. Wow, look at that, guys. I mean, you got some 200s. You got two.
That other lot is part of the deal.
It is part of
okay,
the deal.
okay.
Phenomenal.
So it's just
Fantastic.
awkwardly divided.
Look at that. So you've got this guy here. So is this house, we don't know the baths. It's a 3-bedroom. We've got a 2-1 that went for, it's bigger though. Here's one, 75,000
Is that beat up
sold.
then?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
probably
the
beat up.
pictures.
Let's look at the comparables here now. All right. And let's go the last 90 days. August, July, June, boom. All right, May. What's today, Mike? 4th? All right. There we go. Good comps. All right, we've got this one right here. That's number 1 is probably our best one. It's 187. Let me take a look at some of these. Oh, you got a smoking deal on it. You
Yeah.
got it for 30?
This looks good.
Holy cow. You got this guy right here. Let's take a look at this beauty. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Better frontage, better elevation to this one, but we've got a much bigger lot. We can make it really nice. Looks like it's got an unfinished basement. Fantastic. So it's the same size. I don't know. Let me see how many bedrooms this one is. If it says allow.
I think you just scroll right on it.
What's that?
You can just scroll to the right of it. It'll show it.
Was
on
it
the
showing?
Yeah,
I like verifying the MLS details just to make sure.
Yeah.
One bathroom. Boom.
Oh yeah, perfect.
So, yeah, 187. So you could probably push this thing fixed up, looking good to 200. I would say. I mean, this is 187. You got an extra bedroom. You've got a way bigger lot. This one's got a lot of 87.99. We're staring at a lot of 13,000 plus more. So I'd say 200,000 on that. And then this property is 1,000 square feet. It looks rough, so let's do the breakdown real quick. ARV, 200,000. Mike, you want to times that 0.9?
Hold on, Brent. We need Bobby to move over because we can't see it.
Oh, yeah. Scoot. Yeah.
188.
4. We're taking that for closing costs. What is it?
188.
That puts us to 188. All right, and then we're going to subtract the 20,000 minimum profit somebody's going to want to get out of that. Puts us to 168. All right, let's just say that this thing is completely destroyed, needs landscaping, needs all that stuff. Let's say at the most we're going to put in is 40,000 for that repair. Let's go bananas. Let's just go 50,000. Just let it be absolutely crazy. You're at 118. I mean, bro, you've got
Yeah, that's huge.
an $80,000 deal on your hands. $80,000 deal on your hands. Plus, it's got a good lot. I mean, look at that. You got it for $30,000. Is that the biggest deal that we've?
That remodel went for like 80 grand.
Yeah, I mean, and then he's got. I don't even know. Is this like a pool?
That is the secret place.
That's the secret. That's the secret lagoon. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Really good. Plus, you got other comps guys over there at 200, 210, 212. I'd get real aggressive. Listen to me, Michael. Get real aggressive with this and see what your buyers tell you about it, because I think you got a really great one on your hands. 30,000?
That's huge.
I mean, this dude might get 6 figures on this thing. Who knows? Wow. Congratulations for locking that thing up for 30,000. Jeez Louise. Indianapolis, huh? Wow. Fantastic. John Johnson. That's great. That's the name of our new fish. Yeah. Literally, Bo named our fish John Johnson. So this is fantastic. Should I get a contractor to give me an estimate on repairs for the property? No. If you go in, is it in Insider? Or is it just in the program? The breakdown? If you John, if you look on this, if you just search this channel and do the perfect offer, it breaks down like a matrix of the assumptions to make based on the square footage and the condition of the property. So
It's somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on there. It's on there. It's on YouTube. The matrix is on there. And really easy to use. But no, you don't need to do that, brother. The only time that I would do that is if you're really getting stuck, if you can't sell that deal because something goofy has happened, like you estimated it was 40,000, and then all your buyers are like, dude, that's going to be like $80,000 to fix. I would get a contractor or an inspector, probably an inspector, in to do an inspection for $300 and just have that like huge scroll of unbelievable amount of items that need to be fixed up, right? Here you go. Here you go, John. Just yep. Just take a quick little picture of this. If you want to remove, there you go, guys. Take a quick picture of this, and that should get you where you need to be. So you don't need to get a contractor. So obviously under 1,500 square feet. That's the size, guys. We should probably put a little square foot there up at the top there. But if it's an easy carpet paint. If you walk in, you're like, this needs some work, it needs some updating. And then oh my gosh, this is bad. Wow. I got to wear boots walking in here. We walked in, Alejandro and I walked in a proper, no, it wasn't all, it was,
Yeah, no, it was.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a dead body.
And then I had to throw out that cardigan. I really liked that cardigan.
We had
I walked in, Mike. I'm not joking. I walked in for 15 seconds. There were so many. Something was dead in there for sure.
Dead bodies,
I think it was like
animals, everything.
a lot of rat skeletons, like roasting, and it was the middle of the summer, and it was really bad. And we went to film it
But we couldn't do it.
for YouTube, and I had to throw away my cardigan. It smelled so bad. I dry cleaned it, no good.
Miss that cardigan.
I mean, it was a great cardigan. I mean, I guess it wasn't in the middle of summer. It was in the fall or winter, and it was still baking hot in there. and
Always a
smelling
great
of,
time to wear a
rat
cardigan.
skeletons. And it was bad. It was the worst I've ever been in, and yeah, I don't know how we got onto that.
There was a hoarder house and something else, and there was dead stuff in there.
Yeah.
On that repairs cost table, do you add what do you add for high price properties? And then what's your $5,000 rule?
Yeah, a couple different things there, John. So if I have a $5,000 rule based on if the air conditioner needs to be repaired, if the or replaced, if the electrical, if the plumbing, if the roof, all of these things, I add an additional $5,000. Now, it's not perfect, and that might sound low for some of these bigger things, but remember, we're going after smaller properties. Once you get into these bigger, higher priced properties, you need to add 20% onto it. So if you're over that $400,000 mark, you need to add 20% to this repair cost, because that's you're buying better fixtures, you're buying better materials. Sometimes you need more experienced artisans or contractors, or just people that really do a good job with specific things that make houses pop. So is that what you mean? Yep. Awesome. 4 minutes left. Let's get one more, and then we'll close the show. All right, Anton.
Great way to.
Hey,
There
that's
we
the best
go.
way to end the show. Anton, congratulations. Got a deal under contract with an 8K assignment fee. Come on, brother. Love it. A lot of bell ringing. So, congratulations, Anton. Thank you for posting it on here and giving everybody some inspiration. Listen, anybody that's posted that they're doing deals or whatever, connect, squat up with them, reach out to them, find out what their Instagram is, DM them, find out what their phone number is, actually talk to them. Don't just leave this on surface level DMing. Like, get on the phone and actually have a conversation and communicate with the people that are doing business, because I'm telling you, you can squat up, and if they're in your market, it's really important to be around people that are doing business and doing what you want to be doing. So surround yourself with those people. Come on up, everybody. We've got everybody here. We've got the full gang today. This is exciting. So, Bobby Berg, thanks for being on here, brother. We've got Daniel on the cameras. We've got Mike Mahoney, always keeping us clear. We've got Jesse picking out your questions. We've got Matt keeping everything organized and going through all the different Microsoft updates. And we got Alejandra running IG and running everybody else. So thank you. We love you guys. We come every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We come to you live, answering your questions. Listen, you can do this. I'm telling you, you cannot fail if you are consistent, if you talk to enough people and have quality conversations. It is impossible for you to fail in this business. So I love you. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.